Alexander Usyk delivered a dominant performance to stop Daniel Dubois in the 5th round and claim his status as undisputed heavyweight champion in front of 90,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. The 38-year-old Ukrainian floored Dubois twice in a decisive round, with the second knockdown ending the contest. Usyk, who also defeated Dubois in 2023, extended his unbeaten record to 24-0, 24 wins, no losses. The win saw him regain the IBF title, which was stripped off in 2023, adding it to his WBA, WBO, WBC, and ring belts. Dubois, who previously stunned Anthony Joshua, suffered the 3rd stoppage loss of his 25-fight career. And following the victory, Usyk hinted that he might be taking a break from boxing to rest and spend time with his family. Also over the weekend as well, 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao made a triumphant return to the boxing ring, even if it didn't end in victory. Fighting for the first time in nearly 4 years, Pacquiao and 30-year-old Mario Barrios fought to a majority draw for the welterweight title, WBC welterweight title, and Barrios retained that title, but it was an inspired performance from Pacquiao against a fighter who was 16 years his junior. Well, we're being joined by Seb Alston, all the way from the United Kingdom. Seb Alston, believe it or not, is also a fight fan as well. Seb, thank you so much for coming through tonight. I'm sure you must, like me, have enjoyed that fight between Alexander Usyk and Dubois. 90,000 fans crowded into Wembley Stadium. I don't know about you, but I thought it was a masterful performance. It was expected, but can we now say that Alexander Usyk is one of the greatest of all time, as hinted by Okpade here?
Yeah, I think that's obvious for me. I think that he is definitely one of the greatest of not just his generation, but of all time. And I think that was already cemented before the fight this weekend. But yeah, I mean, it was just confirmation that we already knew that he is, I think, supremely above everybody else in the heavyweight division at the moment. I think that it was almost a bit of a predictable fight. I know that was, tried to drum up the hype that Dubois, he's got a bit of confidence under his belt, obviously with the Joshua Hrgovic fights. But I think everyone knew that Usyk ultimately was a class above. Yes, he's 10 years older, but he still is technically the best fighter on the planet. And I think it went exactly how I thought it was going to.
So, in your opinion, were you surprised that Usyk finished it that quickly with a knockout? So a lot of people expect him to drag into deep waters, probably win unanimous points as well. Were you surprised by the stoppage?
Yeah, a little bit actually. I think that Usyk, I know he'd spoken before the fight about starting quickly, but obviously we all the time, boxers, they always come out with so much talk and never really deliver. But he did. He came out really fast from the block. I think he was almost had a bit of fire in his belly because, I think he was a little bit maybe offended by the way Dubois has always, gone on about their fight before and the low blow and saying that he won that fight when, I don't think he did. And I think he was a little bit offended, and I think he did set out to really show that his authority over Dubois. I think he tried to really make a statement, and that's what he did. I thought, yes, he was going to do a classic Usyk fight and just draw them in, wear them down. But no, we saw a different type of fight from Usyk. He went out sharp, he went out fast, and he got the job early on, and just showed he's a class above Dubois.
All right, so let's talk about Daniel. What or who should be next for him now? He's pretty young. Obviously, he's got a lot of confidence. I think he was overconfident going into the fight against Usyk, but obviously, he will learn a lot. What or who should be next for Daniel the Dynamite Dubois?
I think he's still in a really, really good position. He's 27 years of age. The current crop of fighters in the heavyweight division, they're all the ones at the top. You think of your Furies, your AJs, even to a certain extent, Deontay Wilder and Usyk. They're all very much on their last legs. They've only got a couple of years at most realistically left in them. And Dubois is the only fighter at his age that's got the amount of experience he has. I think he's going to dominate the division for the next 4 to 5 years. I can't see anyone else really coming in and challenging him for those belts, which I think are going to sort of scatter all over the place once Usyk does decide to hang up his gloves. I think for the next couple of fights, I think just, try and stay active, just, pick and choose his fights that get some confidence under his belt once again. I don't think he needs to go for the big name fights just yet. And then, you know, maybe a couple of years' time, go back at it, go for the belts once again. I don't think he needs to throw him in for a fight against a Fury or someone like that. Just to, you know, if he loses, it's just going to damage his confidence once again. Get those, you know, some more fights under your belt, build it with confidence once again, the sort of confidence he had coming into this fight, and just, yeah, you know, learn from it. You know that Usyk's one of the best of all time. You're not going to, you know, you can still have an incredible career, even if you can't beat someone like Usyk. You can still be the best in the world. But, you know, just know that he has to bide his time a little bit.
For Usyk, probably the next meal on his plate will be Joseph Parker. That's the one everybody expects him to go up against. But finally, before we let you go, everybody's talking about greatest of all time. They're putting him in the same WhatsApp group with Muhammad Ali. Bearing in mind, Muhammad Ali fought utter monsters like Ernie Shavers, George Foreman, Spinks, some utter monsters. And this man has only fought, 3 good British heavyweights, beating them twice each. Can we honestly put Usyk in the same bracket as Muhammad Ali, considering the fact that he's only had 8 fights at heavyweight?
It's really difficult to say whether or not, as a true heavyweight, he is the best heavyweight. But as an all-round fighter, I think it's fair to put him in that conversation. You have to remember he is stepping up a division. He's now a 3-time, unified champion in boxing, and that is no mean feat. And I think that, yes, he's only had a few fights at heavyweight division, but he's looked comfortable in his division. And before he came into the division, people were saying Fury's up there as one of the best. People were saying that AJ was one of the best. And he came in and he's completely wiped him from that conversation. And now, yes, people look at his opponents and think, oh, they weren't that great. He made them look not that great. And I think that's actually testament to him. Is he, you know, up there with the likes of Ali or whatever in that true heavyweight category? Maybe not quite. But as an all-round boxer, I think he's definitely up there for me.
I totally agree. Seb Alston, all the way from the United Kingdom, calling the fight for us as he saw it. Thank you so much for coming through tonight on Game On. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.